Rebel world builders were enlightened. Steve Jobs, when he was my age, traveled around India seeking enlightenment. He was really into Zen Buddhism, more specifically Japanese Zen Buddhism, and he was a part of the counterculture. He was doing LSD, and he thought it was one of the top 3 best moments of his entire life. I've always been invested into Zen Buddhism without even realizing it. I didn't even realize that my whole business philosophy that I've grabbed onto, which is Kaizen, is sort of Buddhism. I mean, it's a Zen, Kaizen. I mean, come on. I didn't even make the realization. But what happened is I actually listened to the audiobook of the autobiography of Steve Jobs, which was amazing. And what's crazy about this book is it goes through when he was my age, how obsessed he was with perfection and how he was ambitious and he never wanted to stop producing. He never wanted to stop building. He never wanted to stop making products that were perfect and great. And he never really cared about money. I mean, it's a really spiritual journey that he kind of went on, and I think it's fascinating. When Steve Jobs actually came back to Apple for the second time, he came back with a love of the idea of Kanban, which is a Kaizen technique of just-in-time manufacturing. And at the time, Apple was about to go out bankrupt because he left, and he came back and he instantly cut like 3,000 employees. He reduced the number of products. He just slashed everything, slashed like a samurai sword. He came in and just crushed all the BS in the company and just got rid of it, wiped it away. And what's really fascinating about that is the idea of Kaizen is a Zen focus of incremental improvement, and it goes way further than that. I mean, that's the very tip of the iceberg. Everything is Zen. The universe mirrors Zen. Everything's incrementally improving, and if you don't understand that, then you're going the opposite direction. Your mind is clouded. You have all these things going on. But what's really interesting about Jobs is he loved playful designs. Like, he was really fascinated with how does the software work when you hover over something. You know, he had one guy make a inertia scroll. Like, if you scroll by the page, it'll keep going. Like, it's this play that was really important to his software and to his products and his retail stores. You get to play with items. You get to actually interact with stuff, and that's how he actually went about making products too. Like, he said the number one focus for Jobs was to have the number one managerial technique, which is straight up Kaizen and the Toyota way. Focus, no waste. All the employees are under that umbrella. Focused, no waste. Wherever HQ Apple was at the time, there was a room that was designated for product creation when he came back. He had made this room, and there was literally these creative people in there just playing with new products, new molds of new products. And every day Steve Jobs would come in, he would take a look at everything, he would play with them, and that's how he made world-class products, by just having a culture of there's no bullshit. We just get straight to doing cool shit. And what's really also super interesting about that is he realized that when the iPod was coming out, that he needed to have it fully packaged with iTunes and everything, and he changed the whole music industry, which is crazy to get those executives to do anything, but he did. And the only other person that had a chance at doing that was Sony, and Sony had all of these different departments in their company, and they were at war with each other. And Apple was one department. I mean, it was a one P&L instead of Sony, which was like, dozens of P&Ls for different departments that were not, they were at war with each other. They didn't want to work with each other. So that shows, okay, full control, value over control over money, over the whole organization, so you see everything. And you make sure that vision, which is honestly only really seen by like gurus and people that are like literally enlightened, or they seem like they're enlightened, those are the people that can actually create a culture like that. And they should be the only ones that do, because they can see something no one can. So here's a harsh reality that we all know, but we don't want to say. The reality is, hey, AI is going to take over everything, and it's happening, and there's going to be Optimus robots everywhere, and Elon's right, and there's going to be probably a universal income, and that's high, a high universal income. Everyone's going to have more money because every product and service imaginable will be able to be made by AI. We're going to have everything we ever needed. He thinks it's going to be 100 times our economy as it is right now. I think he's right. And I think that if that will happen in our lifetime, which it will, and I don't think our kids are going to work, it's going to be optional for them, well, that means everything's meaningless. And no one really sees that unless you're like a hardcore Christian and you read Ecclesiastes and you're like, oh, this Solomon guy he had all of the money, he had all the power, he had all of the women, he had all of the wisdom. He asked God for infinite wisdom. And he realized everything's vanity. All is vanity. What is the point of work? Why do Americans work more than peasants in the medieval times? Like, if you actually look it up, Americans work more than a peasant. I mean, there's something wrong with that. And when you realize AI is going to take over everything, then work doesn't matter. Work under the sun doesn't matter. So we have to make it matter. And the way to make it matter is you have to glitch through the matrix and realize, okay, everything's a lie. The school system taught me to be a worker, but work doesn't matter. So what the hell? The only thing you can do is do like what Jordan Peterson's trying to do and have students choose and listen to the smartest people in the world for a fraction of the cost and learn something they're interested in. They can pick and they can choose and be creative, and they can follow whatever they made them excited as a child, whatever gave them passion as a child. Nothing else matters. Purpose is the only thing that's going to matter when we have all the money in the world. It doesn't, poverty doesn't exist. We have free healthcare. The communist utopia becomes a reality because of capitalism and AI. I mean, through Mamdani and these other people that are these Machiavellian types that are just saying the right things because people are desperate. And my generation's falling for that because they lack perception of what's possible. And if they only could see like what I see, if everyone in my generation could see what I see and have gone through an experience of like making an AI tool in a month that made me the most advanced reseller in the world with AI, with no coding experience, with just an act for let's actually understand what the AI is thinking. Let's actually spend time writing essays of like prompts to give to AI. Hey, okay, you explained every step. I wrote it on a piece of paper like a maniac. Now I understand what you were trying to do from me saying, do it better, wrong. Let's actually take that. That probably doesn't work. Explain that again. Okay, yeah, let's not have that. Let's do this. I really want this to happen, so I think we should change that. And what ends up happening is you make the impossible. And right now it's the first time in our of human existence where we could make any product and service within a month and change the world in a month. Okay, I just did, by the way. You'll all have access to it, and you'll be the most advanced sellers in the world too. Like, I'm gonna give this to everybody, and it's gonna be cheap, and that's a side quest. I mean, hey, come on, I can do everything. I just don't have enough time. And what I've realized is, okay, if that's true, if everything I just said is true, then I should probably go to Japan and figure out, okay, why did Steve Jobs try to find enlightenment? Because if I know all these things, how do I bring it all together? Laser focus it in on one thing. Because that's really what Steve Jobs does really well, right? He and Elon, they know about the signal to noise ratio. Steve was about 80% focused on his mission, while 20% of his time was chaos and he wasn't focused. The crazy thing about that is when they have those ratios of focus, they actually laser in like a Thomas Edison, where Thomas Edison was incredibly good at focusing on one thing and one thing only. And if you take like the principles of there's a book called How The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And what's really interesting is if you take what Thomas Edison does and focuses on one thing, you can take it a step further and go, okay, well, I don't give a fuck about anything else but that. And then you can shut out everything, tunnel vision, boom, that one thing, and all of your life energy into that one thing until it's perfect. Like Steve Jobs, the perfectionist who was obsessive, and he had to get it right. When he was making the first retail store, they made this whole thing. He bought out a warehouse down the street from his HQ, and he was like going there every day, just like alone, just like looking at the space. And he realized, okay, like no one believed in him. They're like, Steve Jobs is gonna make some terrible store, and he's like, no, I want it to be floating stairs. Like I want it to be like pure white. You got to like do all these things, and then one of his guys came and was like, hey, we should make it so, like, I just had this revelation of people should be playing with stuff in products, and there should be like, yeah. And what ended up happening is he was like, do you understand how long I've been perfecting this, and you're gonna change everything? But you know what he did? He said, okay, fine, we'll push it back another 4 months. We'll get it done perfect. We'll do it right. And he ended up doing like $1 billion in sales from retail stores in the next few years. Wild. So the way I found that kind of focus was actually through like turning my phone into the tool that Steve Jobs originally intended for it to be, which is pretty much using just the Apple apps and deleting everything else and having no third-party apps that are causing you to doom scroll and making the phone like a freaking portal to hell. It's like, hey, that's not what it was intended for. Steve Jobs actually wanted us to have Zen apps and have that are creative and playful and fun that we can engage with to pretty much improve our life. But that is not how we use phones anymore. And as that is Steve's magnum opus product, right there with the iPod, like, hey, we should just turn on some music on our phone and just like try to do some cool stuff. And by doing that and having notifications at all, like turning on a focus mode where only calls get through, like you'll enter a no mind state and you'll realize, okay, what now? You know what I mean? Like you look at your life, you'll have the mirror up to your life where you're like, oh, I don't really have anything interesting going on. Like I've just been spending my time on these stupid apps. What should I do about that? And you actually start doing creative stuff and, to fill the time. And then you start trying different things. And before you know it, your life is pretty freaking cool. I wrote out like a daily routine one time. It's kind of personal, but I'll put it on the screen just to make the point. Like I was like, I'm not gonna make a daily routine. I'm gonna make my version of a daily routine, and I'll show what it is. I mean, it's 4 different quadrants of the day. It's just like these, and I got rid of it. It used to be hanging up in my room. I don't care about stuff like that. Like I threw it away. I was like, hey, I already know this. It's internalized. I already know this. I don't have a daily routine. I don't have anything going on. When I wake up in the morning, I'll look at the Google Calendar and go, okay, is there anything like that I have to go to today? No? Okay. Then I have nothing happening. And I just can be in this state of like, okay, I am going to focus on whatever I am interested in, and I'm going to do whatever I want. And nothing else matters. It's the don't give a fuck about anything but a few specific things. Like, it's pretty awesome. And a lot of people can benefit from this, and it could give a lot of people a lot of peace. And it can accomplish things. Their perception of what's possible starts opening just from being bored, just realizing, okay, what do I do now? Like at this point, I honestly feel like if you think you're an entrepreneur, if you think you're a creative person, you should drop out, quit your job, and open ChatGPT and just stare at it and ask questions. And what's going to happen is you're going to actually realize, oh my God, everything I need is here. Everything I need to figure out and learn is here. School's pointless. It's dead in the water. Jobs are going to go away. I mean, what are we even doing? Unless you're a construction worker and you absolutely love hard work, which I do, and you'll see these clips of this video today that I'm making, like all of these clips of me going through and throwing cardboard all around the place, and I'm like grinding like crazy, is because I love doing that every once in a while, right? I want to experience hard work, and I'm like having fun with it. I'm like, who's gonna carry the cardboard? Because it was thousands of pieces of cardboard when I got to the dump, and I was like, oh my, like this is literally impossible. Like, how am I gonna do this? And I had like a certain time I had to be done before I got some more pallets of stuff. I'm like, what am I gonna do here? So I just literally just grinded it out, and I loved every minute of it. And you got to do that as well. But when it comes to like making money, I mean, just use AI. I mean, why not? I've never met anybody in my entire life that's using AI to make money. Why is that? That's crazy to me. That it makes me feel insane sometimes. Like the other day, I was working on my computer, and I was looking outside, and I saw my neighbor hand scooping leaves, and I was like, okay, this is a weird dichotomy. She's over here doing something that is completely meaningless, and it's pointless because the wind's going to come and just knock more over. And I'm over here behind this computer screen listing millions of dollars worth of stuff with AI, and I was like, okay, either she's got it figured out because she doesn't give a fuck, and she's just like, I don't care, I'm just going to move these leaves around, and that's going to be my day, and I'm going to feel great about it. Or I'm crazy because I'm working all the time, and I think there's truth in all that. I'm gonna let you guys figure out what you think about that. I mean, it was an interesting dichotomy that I recognized there, but this is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. We have to start thinking about stuff like this. We're so locked into a certain way of thinking. We have to just break just with a sledgehammer. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. We have to start thinking in different ways, and people need to start saying, like Sneeko's right. We need to start saying these crazy ambitious things because, hey, nobody is. If you're going to inspire people like listening to people that are very ambitious, and if you're genuinely ambitious and doing things, not just saying things. These Andrew Tate clones they just love money, and they're never going to change the world. But people that are actually changing the world need to make videos like this, even though they have no time because they're too busy changing the fucking world. They should try to make videos like this to inspire people because people really need it. People just need a little push in the right direction right now, it seems. So yeah, I'm going to Japan for the entire year. well, the rest of the year until 2026. Actually, Japan, South Korea, and Hawaii. And I'm going to be filming a lot. This camera is going to be coming with me. But what I'm going to be doing is trying to understand, okay, how to, like, I already feel very, very centered. And I have weeks where I'm like fully focused and I just love life because I'm in no mind. I'm doing all these things in the warehouse at this point by myself with some family members, but I'm experiencing, okay, this is the Kaizen warehouse, and 12 hours of work feels like 1 hour in a Chase surplus warehouse. And I'm seeing how important and valuable this is, and how you can reach no mind, and your mind starts wandering. You're listening to audiobooks like the Steve Jobs audiobook while I'm processing literally millions of dollars worth of material in like a factory, right? And I understand that, like, okay, there's something really important here that I don't think anyone sees, but people like these straight up outliers like Steve Jobs could see. And I just want to tap into that. And it's funny enough, like, to think, okay, if you do these things and you're wildly focused and intense and on one thing, and fuck you, I don't care about you, I don't care about anything, people will be like, oh man, like it's too intense for people. They can't handle it. But what's crazy about it, and the funny thing about it, is you'd think they would dislike you for it, but it's actually incredibly magnetic. It's simple. It's playful. It's all about play. That's the key. Like, people don't understand the Kaizen, the play, the focus, the no mind. It's all a spiritual thing that means way more than money. If you understand these things, it doesn't matter how much money you have or how much capital you have. That's just a speed boost. You can convince anybody of anything. You can meet your heroes. You can meet anybody. And I've met striving billionaires. I mean, people that are really doing it, that I'm like shocked. Like, okay, you are the exact person in the entire world that I needed to meet. You're the best in the whole world. And I met you because I sent a Hail Mary email and I just shared my story. I didn't try to like get anything from them. And they fly me out to see them, and it's happened many times. Like, it's crazy. That's the problem with Steve, is he's a very difficult person to be inspired by and take as an inspiration, because he was an asshole. He was terrible and cruel to everybody around him. He was cold, and at the same time he was magnetic, and he had this distortion field, that everyone talks about, where he was like this very convincing person of anything. Like, you can do the impossible, and he really made people believe that. So he's a very interesting person, and I think in this new AI age, we have to take inspiration with a grain of salt from people like that. But mainly, what I think Steve would have wanted is for us to take the good aspects of him and take that into this new wild world that's accelerated so much that it almost feels like we're going directly towards the sun with this AI stuff, and we might just burn up. And it's the most interesting time in human existence. I mean, this is obvious. You don't have to think very hard about it to realize that. So we just got to take inspiration slightly from these people, but just learn about their life. Really, that's what we have to do. And I'm going to find out what he realized when he was my age, because I think it was incredibly powerful. I think I already know a lot about it, but I need to know the real root of, okay, how do you change the world? And if you do that, you might just change the world. That's all. I'm gonna make some videos, hundreds of videos. Next year is gonna be crazy. I'm gonna film everything in Japan. I think people will be very upset with me, the Japanese people, but I'm gonna be like trying not to film them, but I'm gonna film as much as I can, and honestly just have the time of my life. And I'm gonna make as many videos as I can when I get back. And it's gonna be great. And yeah, thanks so much for watching. Stay great. Keep pursuing whatever you want to pursue. Why the hell not? You can do anything. Nothing's impossible. Until next time, peace.